What is up, everybody? Here's Matsik. Once again, today we're going to be showcasing how to root Timelapse from Hack-the-Box. This is an Active Directory based machine, easy level, retired already, and I think it shows something interesting. So let's just get going. And as always, let me walk you through the nmap command I used. And tag-pn, I used it to tell nmap that the host is already up and running, preventing it from sending out some other probes and checking whether or not it's up, right? We already know it is. Tag n to disable DNS resolution, otherwise it would take a minute or two extra. Tag v, just to make it verbose. Tag sv, that will perform a service version detection scan. Basically it appends this column right here, and the c appended to it, it's like a shorthand for tag sc. Know that you can squeeze in several other options such as ss, that would be for stealth scans, st for full TCP connect scans, and several others. So the C will perform several checks, several default scripts the nmap scripting engine has, such as this one, for example, for kind of HTTP based ports, such as this one. It finds the server header, the SSL cert, the signature in SHA-1, in MD5, SSL8, and so on and so forth. And -p- will be executing a scan across the whole range of ports that are available on the TCP/IP protocol. So that is from 1 to 65,535. Also, we send in a minimum rate of 500 packages a minute, no less than that. Otherwise, it would take a long time since we are over a VPN, right? And finally, on to save the output to a file called general on an nmap, on a directory called nmap, right? So onto the results, you see here that we have, for example, the DNS server. So let me split this up. And one interesting thing to try when you find a DNS server is to use the tool called dig. And with this, I'm going to be using my IP, the IP of the victim machine, and next to it the domain, so timelapse.htb. Now we look at this. LDAP is kind of giving us that information here, but we need to add it to our local DNS server. So nano UTC hosts, a node over here. Let me see. For example, for this port, we will talk about it later. We have a DC01 timelapse.com. So you want to save all those in your etc host file, right? And I haven't defined my variable t, so let's do it, which is t equals 10.10.11.152. With that, I will be able to perform this check. Now, here we can query for specific DNS records such as name server NS. Now look at that. It also shows us the DC01. We can try MX for mail exchange, SOA, which I do not recall what it stands for, but it's another kind of record. So if we hit any, look at this, SOA, we'll see interesting information, right? Now, another interesting thing you might want to check before moving on is the AXFR option, which will perform a zone transfer attack. And we see it fails. So if it didn't fail, we would have been able actually to find maybe some other subdomains. They weren't supposed to be public, and that will help us in in our enumeration phase, right? We also have Kerberos, which we would be able to use like to brute force it in order to find valid usernames on the domain with tools like Kerberos. And in this case, let me just go straight with the 445, which is SMB map. So SMB map with tag H as a host, we can query it. Remember the $T is my IP. We'll see we have nothing here, but we can specify end to perform a null session attack. And it's not like that, so let me just like this, and maybe is it like this? Now, is it like no? I think so. And it works. So yes, this is prone to a null to be vulnerable to a null session attack, and we have read-only access on IPC and in shares. Now I want to see that, and I'm going to be using the SMB client. And since this is a Windows box, we're going to need to use double slashes. So my IP, I'm using shares, and I'm going to be using tag end to tell SMB client, hey, do not ask me for credentials I don't have. All right. So we can, ls, we see two folders, dev and help desk. Let's go to Delph first, there, and I have a zip file, so let me download it with the command get, like that, get WinRM backup, and it says getting, so let me go out. In the help desk, you will find several documents, Word documents that and PDFs that can give you a hint about what or where this is heading to. But let's move with this thing. Let me move to contents. Let's go there. Now I'm gonna be unzipping WinRM. And it says legacy dev auth pfx, right? So I don't have a password, but we do have an option though, which is use zip to John and has the actual zip to it, and it will give us a hash. So let me redirect it to a file called hash, and then I'm going to be using John. I'm going to be passing hash, and I'm going to be specifying the word list as rocky.txt. So that actually finds a password. So I'm going to be saving it in creds just in case. Supreme legacy, just like that. And now I can unzip it. Supreme legacy, oh my god, Supreme legacy, just one Y, and we have a pfx file. Now it's unlikely that we know what this is, so what is a pfx file? How to open, right? And a PFX file is a digital certificate that's used to determine whether a device like a computer or web server is authentic. That is, whether it is what it says it is. You can open a PFX file with the native program Microsoft Certificate Manager. Maybe, well, let's see. Okay, how to open PFX file. And I don't know, it's just okay, extracting the certificate and keys from a PFX file. I want to see that. This is like in a Windows thing, so I'm not going there. And IBM to extract the private key to extract the certificate. So okay, apparently it gives us a private key and a certificate, right? So let me legacy, that would be the PFX file, and I want to get, I don't know, a key. So I'm gonna name it legacy that key, and we have another import for password, so supreme legacy, and that is not. So how to crack pfx files, right? And well, how to run John the Reaper. Okay, interesting. So probably there's a tool called pfx to John. Yeah, so pfx to John. So pfx to John legacy dev. I'm gonna be moving it to #1. Now John again, and instead of #1, just hash. Sorry, instead of hash, just #1. We will need to wait until this finishes out, so we can grab probably our key and our certificate. So the other one is this one. Yep. I mean, it says that's cert, but usually certificates. Okay, convert that pfx file to a PAM format. So I'm gonna be saving the certificate as in a in a .pam format, just because I'm more used to like see, you know, certificates in that format, that file format. So we'll see from there. Now we might start wondering, what could I do with a public and private certificate? So probably, I mean, a certificate and a key, it's just to it's a way to authenticate yourself, and as we saw before, to tell a system you are who you say you are, right? So probably we are using some SSL based protocol, and I see John the Reaper just stopped. And yes, talk legacy. So let me open SSL once again. Legacy key, talk legacy, and passphrase. I don't want that. The hell? No. What is? No certs. I don't know. I mean, Linux. Let me just keep going. Check admin, for example, here. Okay, so it says extract the private key. Let me try that first, because I don't remember this asking me for a passphrase before. So open SSL, whatever, legacy pfx, no search, pref key.pam. Okay, talk legacy, and what else? Extract the certificates. There you go. So open SSL, legacy, certificate.pm, talk legacy. That's fine. And again, so we see this, right? And this is kind of new for us because we are used to see the 5985 port, not the 5986 port. If you look it up on Google, you will find out that this is WinRM over SSL. This is the actual port that actual companies use, because who'd want to have their data exposed in order for an attacker to sniff their traffic, right? No one ever does. So we can start checking the WinRM options in here, because if we have certificates, maybe we can authenticate with it. And we have some options here. SSL, because I mean we need it. Public key and private key. So that is interesting. I'm gonna be doing that. So IP, and this is userless authentication. So I'm gonna be using the public key, that would be certificate, and K privekey.pem, and I'm going to be using SSL. And well, since it says that the remote host port default is 5988, if this doesn't work, I'm going to be specifying another one as 5986, but it does, right? So where am I? Oh, let's just get started enumerating. And we don't see any privilege we can exploit. We are in the development group. And what else? And the development groups now. Why did I say before that SMB map, HT, and sorry, SMB client, just like this, lot of shares, and well, it is because if we go to help desk, you will see several things. So labs, datasheet, operations guide, technical specification, x64 MSI. And remember that MSI is just a Windows installer, so I don't know, probably a LAPS is installed in the system, but we don't know what that is. So what did I do? What is LAPS? Windows, an Active Directory. And it says the local administrator password solution labs provides management of local account passwords of domain joined computers. Passwords are stored in Active Directory and protected by ACL, so only eligible users can read it or request its reset. I could try to hack tricks labs, right? And see some information from here. Credential dumping labs hacking articles is a really great blog you wanna get information from, and check if activated. Let's check that. It's not letting me now. So here, damn, the fuck. Red query, and it's enabled, so that's good. Let's try this one. Get domain GPO, probably not working. Oh well, labs password access. So moreover, the native labs password commandlets can be used if they're installed in the machine we have access to. Get command admin password. Apparently we don't have those commandlets installed. Well, that's labs persistence. Interesting. So maybe we can credential dumping in here, get labs now. However, I mean, according to the description we just read, we need to have a valid user with permissions to do it. So net user legacy, let's read ourselves. And we are part of the remote management users, the domain users and development. Well, let's just inspect other users as well, such as net baby WinRM, help desk. What else? Let's try load domain users. The cyber geek domain. SVC deploy. And this actually has an interesting group, which is labs reader. So now we know what user to target first, right? We need to get access to SVC deploy user in order to read labs passwords to exploit any misconfiguration in there, right? So I'm gonna give you the hint right away. You would actually found this out with what is his name? Winpiece from Carlos Polyp. And in this case, you can use this, which is get ps read line option dot history save path. This is in order to get the location of what in Linux you know as bash history, or whatever shell you have installed, right? So I'm going to be going to this directory because there is not just one. There's usually a server remote host history and a console host history, I think. And there you go, we have one, right? So this is something people almost always ignore because it's kind of hidden, right? Like no one ever checks app data, roaming, Microsoft Windows, PowerShell. That's crazy. So we can type it out. Okay, console. And we have here basically the history of the commands of this user. So apparently legacy has been running some commands, and if you check here, we have a password, right? A password, and the user svc deploy, which is right what we needed, right? So let me go ahead and enable WinRM itu svc deploy password, this one, and SSL. Let's see if it connects, and it does. You know why? SVC deploy, because we are actually in the remote management users group as well. So WMIO once again, and well, nothing else. I mean, nothing new for us. And now we know that we can dump the LAPS passwords. Apparently now there's a native way and a way with a PowerShell script. So I'm gonna show you both. So the native way is to do get ad computer ad DC as in domain controller 01. I'll be using the property flag and mcs at adm pwd, and that will dump us a password. Look at that. So with that, I'm gonna be exiting out from here. Now enable WinRM once again, T user administrator P, all this. The good news is that they are using a kind of secure system, which is LAPS, because LAPS, what it does is that it generates a random and long enough password, secure enough password, and changes regularly for those established users, so such as administrator. So administrators themselves do not have to worry about changing it manually and all this stuff. So that is kind of secure. There are some considerations one must have before fully implementing the system. Security awareness, it's important, but we should see, and actually I didn't specify the SSL option. We should see that this actually works. We would be connected as administrator. I don't know, probably the square bracket isn't giving trouble. Not really sure. But in the meantime, the other way, you have some of them. So Metasploit, Empire, CrackMap, Exec, Sharp, Labs, NetTools, Get Labs password. I think the best is this one. Please go ahead and read them all if you want. But it's because it's a .ps1 file. This is an exe, right? NetTools is a GUI-based method, and GetLab's password is a PS1 file you can load into memory and execute. Now, just in order for you to know, you don't need to specify all these things. You can just run GetLab's passwords, and it will give you all the information you need, right? And it's not working. Let me hit this one. Probably because of that, but I'm not sure. It should be working because it's like on here, inside single quotation marks, right? So Not sure what's going on in here. Not working. Does it need this? I'm not sure. This is me just testing some things. But if we check, then I don't know what it did. Okay, let me just crack map. Yeah, crack map exec and WinRM, my thing. Administrator key, this one. Check please if these are valid credentials for WinRM. We should receive a pond as we are administrators. But you know, it's just still checking. Takes a long time. Maybe I think we need to do this SSL and ignore. This is actually in the SSL server. I think that is. We need to actually there you go. I mean, these two options are in the help menu of the WinRM of the crack map exec command, right? So let us try one more time to log in. Otherwise, I'll just pass, but you'll know that we actually have the credentials on the WinRM server. Because yeah, I'm not sure why it's not entering, because I already tried it when I first did the machine. So just for you to know, it works, but please try yourself. Nope, not working, but that's fine. As you saw, that is actually the correct credentials for this administrator user. So I'm gonna wrap it up in here, and I'll just finish out the video, and I hope you guys liked it as I did. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you like the content. Any suggestions, critiques are well received, for me at least. And that's it. So thank you very much for joining. You have a good one.